think we had a guest coming in today, didn't we?
Who is the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man? Shout!
Can you dig it? There you go. What's going on, Chris Arps?
I'm good. I'm sorry I'm late.
Well, that's all right. I was a little worried about you, but you came rolling in the door just as we were in the music, so that's all right.
Well, just perfect timing.
Close enough.
Church on the Wheel of Steel.
Yes, that's true.
That's right. You got that right.
We like it, and I want to get to this story of sexual abuse in Arizona or New Mexico. I printed it out earlier. I saw you mention it on social media. But before we do that, I've got to pick your brain over the president's tweets about Kirsten Gillibrand. Did you hear what he said specifically?
I read it. I heard it. I listened to it. I did the whole nine, yes.
And she got schlonged.
That you didn't hear that he said that about her.
No, I mean
no. Okay. Anyway, what he said was she would come begging for campaign contributions not so long ago and would do anything for them, and is now in the ring fighting against Trump. Very disloyal to Bill and crooked is what he says on here. And of all people, Pocahontas, Senator Warren comes out and accuses him of slut-shaming her. Can't you only be slut-shamed if you were a slut? What am I missing here?
I think that Senator Warren is trying to insinuate that Senator Gillibrand is a slut and has done some type of sexual favors for campaign contributions.
I don't know how else to read that. And I'm trying to be as fair-minded on this as I can. Yeah. Donald Trump did not overtly accuse her of anything. You could probably read that either way, but let's assume for a moment that he was suggesting she was willing to do anything with a wink and a nod to get a campaign contribution. I don't think that's what he meant. I think it's just a poor choice of words, which he's prone to do sometimes.
Mark.
But to have a female senator accuse him of trying to intimidate and slut-shame her. You can't slut-shame somebody who hasn't done anything.
Look,
help me here, folks. 314-969-9797. Maybe I misunderstand the term slut-shaming, but if you fat-shame somebody, that means...
Why are you pointing at me?
No, because we had this conversation about the girl at the Cardinals game that got fat shamed. The guy saw her sitting there wolfing down a bunch of hot dogs, and she could barely fit in the seat in front of him. And he took pictures of it, and he got blasted for daring to fat shame her. Now, he probably should have done what he did, but obviously she was overweight, and therefore people use the term fat shaming. So if you accuse somebody of slut shaming...
I think there's two definitions of slut shaming. There's been definitions of slut shaming where some woman, young girl, may have went to a party and she may have gotten drunk, and a bunch of young men may have taken advantage of her and took pictures of her or whatever, and she may have said she didn't do anything, but it looks bad, and they're calling her a slut, and you're slut shaming because of it. I think there's two different.
So what's number two?
I think there's another angle of what the president's tweet. And that I think people are overlooking. And I know you're going to say it's a stretch, it isn't a reach, but just bear with me for a minute.
You think you know me so well. Go ahead.
Now, you remember, he's saying that, she is almost willing to do anything, has come to his office to almost do anything.
He didn't say his hotel room.
Well, she said office, okay? So she also threw in Bill Clinton, who the Clintons were close with Gillibrand. Think of what happened about 20 years ago in somebody's office with a young intern.
Yeah, but I think what he meant there is that she said that he should have resigned. She said Bill Clinton should have resigned over what happened in his office.
I think this is an instance, and there's not a lot of what Maya Angelou says that I agree with besides her poetry. But she had a saying that said, if somebody tells you who they are, believe them. And I think President Trump tweeting this out, it skirted the lines. He didn't say anything overt sexually, but you can read a whole lot into it of what he really did mean. And I think he did that on purpose, because you and me in talk shows and national talk shows and political shows all over the country are going to be talking about what did the president mean. Let's sit there and interpret it and do a Sigmund Freud and figure out what he meant. It was purposeful. He did that. He left that ambiguity in there on purpose. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Oh well, you may be right. I mean, he's been prone to do that to get reactions out of people, right?
Yeah.
Who knows if what he alleges there, if there's any truth to it, and you've got another senator claiming that she's being slut-shamed, what's Gillibrand's response going to be? That's the question.
And I've always said about this president, I like the unorthodox things that he does. I like that he calls out people on Twitter, and he's using that as kind of a bully pulpit per se. But he takes it too far. And this thing that he said about Gillibrand and all that was just taking it too far. If he'd just left that out of it and talk about the fake media and talk about all that they're doing, it's great. Go after them. Don't be a punching bag for them. I agree with that. But why does he have to take it that one extra step to make it
Lighten up, Francis.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, Ron, thanks for calling the program. You're on the air with Mark and Chris.
I'm sorry, that was kind of funny. I agree with him. I think that when Trump did this morning, I think he had a plan the whole time. He wanted to see who was going to open their mouth and stick their foot in it the quickest.
And Senator Warren obliged.
Did not disappoint. I mean, he does it on purpose. He gets them to react, and they do react every time. I can't believe they haven't seen this yet, but he does it every time. And this one, I hate to laugh so much about it, but, the lighten up Francis thing was funny. I just think he sets them up, and then he's got a plan, and he'll use it. And I think Pocahontas will get buried on this one, because if I'm Gillibrand, I'm calling her right now going, look here, you old bag. You don't call me that. So that's just something to think.
Yeah, Ron, I appreciate the call. Thank you. I was talking to one of our sales account managers about this earlier. He pointed out the lesson that Donald Trump's opponents have failed to learn throughout the primary season that many in D.C. still haven't caught up on, is that whenever he engaged somebody in something like this in the primary, they lost. In the end, they lost. Little Marco lost. Ted lost. Everybody, like Jeb, lost.
But this situation is much bigger. He's attacking in this situation individually Senator Warren, but the Democrats are going to use this generally is that you're attacking women. That's what I'm saying. This is not just a singular, he's attacking her.
So you're saying they're baiting him because he got attacked first.
They're going to broad base this into he's attacking women generally with this. It's not going to be a him against her thing.
Maybe. JJ, you're on the radio. Go ahead.
How we doing? I agree with Ron's train of thought there. But golly, this whole thing, it says a whole lot more about what these ladies think than what President Trump tweets.
You're talking about Senator Warren's response?
Certainly.
Yeah.
The way they're responding says a lot more about them than it does about President Trump.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody's got a little bit of a point here. I think that he was trying to elicit a response, which he got, but he was also responding to what Gillibrand said about him. And JJ, thank you for the call. He was responding, and he knew that in that response, he knew how to poke the bears a little bit.
Leave a lot of ambiguity and he sexual references.
I don't know. I guess
there's sexual
and would do anything for them. Maybe she came in and said, "If you'll donate to my campaign, I'll make sure that hotel bill that you like gets pushed through the next, in the Senate."
Sure, but
could have been that, right?
Yeah, but we're three young, almost young, red-blooded American.
Did you see
males.
him look at me?
I saw that.
And you talk about some.
I'm sorry that you're going to miss your slot next week, Chris, but
you come talking about some woman came to my office and will do almost anything. Where's your mind going to go? I try to be a Christian.
Well,
man,
we know where Elizabeth Warren's mind went, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, too, if folks didn't get a chance to call in, make sure you tweet at MarkCox971 with your response on this hashtag MCS971.
Yeah, at MarkCox971, and we'll get this up here. Also, one thing we haven't talked about yet, and we'll get to it here in a couple minutes, is the Roy Moore election that's going on, and also this transgender sexual harassment case out of New Mexico.
That's a carnival, man.
Just mind-boggling to read that. And evidence of some of the problems that we face out there. I'll get to more of your phone calls.